So here's my story time. I came to get my hair done. I've been in Houston, and came to Baton Rouge today to get my hair done. We started talking about it, and I was like, this is perfect. Let's do it. Bam. So we were trying to come up with a name for the person because, of course, we can't say names. So
Trinae, be quiet.
What is a good name for that person who betrayed me, Anna? Because we can't come up with a name.
So this is what we came up with. I suggested, because it's a little bit of the story. Why did I get married to? You know how
Oh yeah.
you know, Sheila had the friend who she thought was her friend, came all the way to a trip. You know
Oh yeah, I couldn't stand that bitch.
And then, you know what?
Knowing you
Red
was
flag.
fucking Sheila,
You know
man,
what?
all in the cabins and
The red
shit.
flag was,
Still mad at you.
Sheila, when you had to get off that plane,
Your friend in it.
Your homegirl should have rode with you, but she didn't. She kept on, and guess what? Sheila was still like, no, she's my friend. She wasn't her friend.
So can we call her Tricky Trina or just Trina?
Tricky Trina is a good one.
I like Tricky Trina too. Let's go with Tricky Trina.
All right. So
that
I want
trick.
people to be able to catch on. So Tricky Trina, we got it from Why Did I Get Married? All right. So I'm gonna give y'all a backstory on Tricky Trina for part 1. I'm gonna try my best to make this just 3 parts. Get it all out, because my goal is, after this is over with, I don't want to talk about it no more. Like, I know I'm smiling and everything now, but it took me a while to get to this place. So my goal is to move forward and begin to heal properly. Every time I see somebody, always like, well, so what happened? Tell me what happened. Everybody want to know. And then I find myself telling a story. Then I find myself back in a negative mindset. So next time somebody asks me what happened, I'm going to say, girl, go watch my YouTube video. Okay?
Cindy, what did Tricky Trina do?
And
what did
I
Tricky Trina
y'all
do?
Backstory so y'all understand the 2 characters of this show. How many characters? Is it 3? Am I one?
You're the main character, so yeah, main character energy over here. It's fine to have.
Main character. Period.
Bro, I'm so fucking
and then
invested.
I'm gonna give y'all some
and then they grown.
This first
and they eating the box. Ooh, this shit is.
I want to give you guys
prime
some
rib.
tips on just growing up, being aware, channeling in with your intuition, and also making your friends accountable or not accountable.
Why do we keep friends who show us so many red flags? Why do we keep them around us for so long when we really should have ended the friendship? And so when stuff happens like that and it blow up, and then hindsight, and you like, well, when such and such happened, I really probably should have stopped being their friend then. But sometimes when you so loyal and you show up for people because
we also do it because it's a familiarity. We'll have all these years with a person, and we think that all of those years equates to loyalty. And it don't. It's just that. All those years. You can meet a nigga in 3 months and probably give you more loyalty than a motherfucker who you've been with for 20 years. You really can't put a time or a place on none of that type of shit because it'll deceive you every time.
You're showing up for people how you want a person to show up for you. But it don't be the same. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And what's the word that everybody uses now? Because, you know, we always have those popular words. Reciprocate. If it's not being reciprocated, then I don't want it.
Mm-hmm. We just talked about boundaries, too.
Having boundaries not only for the friend, but setting boundaries for yourself.
Mm-hmm. And if you have a friend, and like you said, if you notice that they have, like this particular girl who was my friend, she had a really bad habit of only messing with married men or men who had somebody. She was a very pretty girl, and it was almost like it was a game that she played to always want to have something that she couldn't have.
So she really is like Tricky Trina. That bitch.
Now me, I never thought that it would happen to me because I just knew she couldn't have mine. But whew,
no, it's not even that. Being a loyal friend, like
I didn't even think that didn't even cross my mind.
They was fucking.
Like, yeah. So
you with Sheila.
We should always want to hold those type of people in our lives accountable because you may think it can't happen to you, but it can.
Character. We talk about character.
If I haven't learned anything else this year, I've learned that it can happen to you. So, let's get into
it. Let's get into it.
This Tricky
Trina.
I met her about 13, 14 years ago. We worked together. And very attractive lady. Like I said, she had some bad qualities about herself. But we became cool, and I am not trying to toot my own horn, y'all. I am that friend who will try to hold on for dear life. Like, I feel like
Me too.
friendships are just as important as relationships, because they are relationships.
They are.
And they're not disposable. If you find a good friend, I hear people say all the time, I don't need friends. I can hang alone. I feel like everybody need friends.
They do.
At least one.
Yeah, that's
At least
how
one.
you get through life. I mean, you want somebody to talk to, you want somebody to hang out with, you want somebody to lean on. You don't want to, if you find somebody who don't have no friends at all, it's kind of like, what's up with you?
Or too, it could have been they had a lot of bad friendships and they're just so jaded that they're choosing not to have friends.
That could be true as well.
I'm so happy y'all told me to react to this type of shit. This is my type of shit. You don't even understand how up my alley this type of shit is. Y'all can go on right now. I don't even care. I'll be on here with one nigga. Y'all don't even give a fuck. I'm locked in.
So I'm the type of friend that my friends are not disposable. I try everything I can, and the crazy thing about me is, like, I'll try over and over and over again, and then when something really bad happens, or when a light bulb come on and I just don't want to do it anymore, it's just all over with. It's like, bam, I have nothing for you, and it's just whatever. But it takes a long time to get there. So I met this person, Tricky Trina, about right at 13, 14 years ago. We worked together. We became friends. She did attend all my family events. She was, and another disclosure, because I wasn't going to say it at first, but
say it. Tell it all.
She was okay with it last video, so I'm going to let y'all know. She know. Go ahead. Tell them,
No, it's totally fine. She feels comfortable with talking to me about this person. Although the video is for everybody to get a little information about what happened. I do know this person. I do know the person's character. I am not biased, but I do know the person. I do know the person personally. But the person hasn't been in my presence, and I'm not going to speak bad of the person because I didn't have that experience with the person, but I do know the person's character that she's talking about. So,
and that's it.
Just a disclaimer for those
For real.
who see it and be
Facts.
Like, they know that I know the girl.
I know
Uh-huh.
it. You know it.
Okay.
We know it.
So
This is not a bad session.
it's not a bad session, no. And I'm not coming out right now saying, oh, I'm going to throw all the dirt, because even though she betrayed me, even though she did the worst thing that you can do to somebody, that was who she was.
Hell
That
yeah.
was me
That barbershop
who didn't pick
talk
up on
is
it. That
for
was
real.
Me who brought her in my house and brought her around my family, knowing the type of person she was. Now, if you ask me, I saw something different towards her, in her at the end. More like, I hate to use this word. This word is like so bad, but it was more like evil. And I'll get more into that towards the end of the video, or maybe into the next one. But so we were friends. She came back probably like in 2019, 2020. Something happened. My daughter had began to branch off into like this other world, YouTube and stuff like that. And one day she came to me and she was like, I want to do YouTube. And I want to go full throttle, and I need your help, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I had just started my YouTube, and I'm guessing she thought I knew more than what I did. So she was real adamant about getting me to help her. And she would come over like, oh, I
For
need
real,
to do this, I need to
Joan?
do that. And I guess I wasn't moving as quick as she wanted me to. So she was like, okay. She told a mutual friend that we had that she didn't really, she wasn't dealing with me because I wasn't trying to help her. But the honest to God truth is, God, I really didn't know much about it myself. And she was asking me to do stuff on days like I was really busy. I had became more busy. I had my grandson. COVID had just hit. Like, things were changing. And I couldn't explain it, but I just didn't have the time. So she got really angry. She told a friend that she called cold turkey, stopped talking to me. And when I kept calling, I kept calling a mutual friend, and they was like, well, she say you won't help her, and you acting funny, and she don't have time for that. So I was like, okay, she'll come around. We talked about that, about people who expect stuff from you. If you're really my friend, then you would kind of like know already what I'm going through, or you wouldn't expect so much out of me.
Amen. And you know what, as friends, I feel like we do have responsibilities. You know what I'm saying? Let me explain what I mean. You ever been in a friendship with somebody and you talk to this person all the time? You know what I'm saying? So this person might know exactly what you're going through. You know they know what you're going through because it's the only person who you vent to. However, they can know what you're going through, right? And still keep unloading shit on you from them because it just seems like what you going through don't really matter or don't trump them. So they gonna keep dumping even though they know you didn't talk to them, they understand it. It just be like, what the fuck? It's still an etiquette with friendship, bro. Like if I know that my friend is going through some shit, or not only that, let's take it a step further. If you know you are one of those friends that constantly just come to your friend with bad news, it's, oh girl, it happened again. Oh, Michael's ass in. This happened then. And this happened then. And it becomes a redundant spiel to where like every time you call, a majority of the time, it's just about that. Man, you got a responsibility as a friend to understand what you dumping on your friend, bro. Like, pump your brakes some. It's okay to be like, man, I ain't even finna talk to her about this shit. Selfish as fuck. I can't stand that type of shit.
Or two, I mean, everything is not about you. So, if I'm asking my friend to do something, my friend is doing it out of helping me out the kindness of her heart, then it has to be done on her own time. I can't expect my friend to stop, drop, and roll because I want something done and I want
Facts.
it done now. So, there should have been a time for her to do whatever she needed to help, because if that really was something that she was determined to do, then she would be doing it in whatever capacity. Even if she didn't make it big, she'll have at least one video.
Right. Now,
Shawty said that she wanted to do it. She would at least had a shoulder something on that motherfucker.
also, like, that should have been something I paid attention to. Because anybody who know me know I got a good heart and I'll do anything for anybody.
But somebody who also knows you know that you got a million and one things that you be doing, and so I'm like, I wouldn't have took offense to it.
I'm always all over the place. So I would tell her, I would be like, put it together, come over here, whatever you want to do, and I'll do it with you. But like, I just can't do it or whatever. Anyway, so that happened. A year passed. We didn't talk for almost a year. For my birthday, I gave a birthday party at the spa. I rented out the spa. I invited her through our mutual friend, and she came. So we got back cool or whatever. We apologized to each other. You know, whatever I did, I'm sorry. You know, if I wasn't there the way you needed me to be, because I took accountability. Maybe I was, if you're my friend, maybe I should have dropped some stuff and, you know, heard you more or whatever. So we apologized to each other. And literally like 3 days later, she called in after my birthday and was like, okay, girl, so and she dived right back into it, wanting to do videos. Mind you, I'm doing YouTube, but I barely know how to do it. I'm just like, you know, having fun with it.
Yeah.
But again, I still don't have the time, but now I'm making time because I don't want her to think that I'm not. So now I'm forcing myself to do it. We did a few videos together.
Yeah, what she did, she put herself in a box. She had already they already apologized. Now when this girl is coming 3 days later, it's almost like she feel obligated to do it. Because if she don't do it, it's kind of like what they just came from. You know what I'm saying? And that's some hoe ass shit as a friend. You know what I mean? That's straight manipulative. I mean, bro, some grown folks can see through that shit. That was some hoe ass shit. No cap.
I was like, come over. But I guess when she come over to do a video, I was more like, okay, we got to do it and then you got to leave. It wasn't like we could hang out, sit around. She wanted me to, she was like, okay, we talked about doing reactions. She was like, all right, we can sit down and learn how to do it together. I'm like, no, I got to get off of work at 4. I got to get my grandbaby. I got to do this. So it was like, why don't you look it up, hit me up, show me, come over, and then we can get it done and, you know, finish the video and leave. Bam, it only took like 3 days before she decided she was mad at me again. At this point, I kind of let it go because I was like, whatever she's dealing with, if it's meant for us to be friends, she'll be back. 2 years later, almost 2 years later, she sent me a DM. She said she loved me. She missed me. Oh my God, I can't believe that, you know, I haven't talked to you in this long. And she came back around. She wanted to go to dinner so we could talk about it. She apologized. She took full accountability for what she did and how she handled it, and she even blamed it on this guy that she, had started dating, who was much younger than her. And we just kind of ran life down to each other. And of course, we kind of took off right where we left. Bam, that was in October. She also went on to say that she was watching TV and she saw my daughter was on Basketball Wives, blah, blah, blah. I should have knew that was a red flag right there. But of course, being humble, I didn't even think about that because I'm like, that's my daughter. They ain't got nothing to do with me. She's been knowing my daughter since she was a little girl. Maybe that.
And you also thinking, that's my friend. She not going to, because you do have a large friend group and nobody is weird about Nique being on TV.
Nobody. People, we don't even look at her like she on. We just.
But
it's just like,
or most people are happy. Like somebody from their city. Like is on Basketball Wives. Like they're happy about it. But nobody's calling you and being like super weird and like, hey, since Nique is your daughter, can you do X, Y, and Z? No, nobody's doing it. So you're not expecting that to be her motive.
Right. And if anybody know me, they know I don't expect anything out of your kids. You just be so happy for your kids that they doing great in life. You don't want nothing from your kids. You just want them to do better than what you did in life. So I'm just always excited
what's so
my children. I'm not.
You know what's so fucked up about this situation? A lot of us got this type of friend right now around them. You know what I'm saying? Somebody got this type of friend right now around their ass.
Thinking about that aspect of it, but I didn't even know that certain stuff brings on so much hate and envy and different stuff like that. Okay, so we go out to eat. Like I said, that was a conversation a few times when we first started to have our conversations. But then we just took right off. It was October. We went to some Halloween parties. We started back hanging out. I can say that I take accountability because for not channeling into my intuition. This go around, things were not the same. I could feel something. It was like almost like a dark spirit. Like I could always feel it when she was around. To the
Bill Renee, I'll let you tell your story on stream on next week if you want to.
I was I was slowly pulling the spoon out of her mouth at that time. Okay. All our alarms are going off. I'm trying to go quick. And you channel in whenever you get ready. Because we guys, we had it going on in here at first. We was like full blown, like touching on stuff that can really help somebody. I feel like somebody really needs to hear. However, everything happened for a reason. The video went in slow motion and we kind of get, bam. Like I said, our friendship took off right where it left off at. And that was October to December.
Okay.
Now, backstory on this person, and again, I'm not coming out bashing her like as if, now that you're not friends, you wanted to put out all her dirt. I'm not going to put out any of her dirt because she means nothing to me. Absolutely nothing. I am just getting this off my chest, telling my story so I can go on with my life. It is therapeutic talking about it, but I'm tired of paying therapists because I did go through that phase where I was seeing a therapist for the first time in my life.
What she do? I cannot wait to get through this shit, y'all. Ooh.
Your therapist helps you to process your emotions and see the why on why, like things were.
Oh no, it is there and it's expensive too. It's therapeutic and expensive.
Okay, yeah, I'm going back to school.
Yes, girl. But I went through that. Every time I see somebody, it's always like, girl, what happened? And now every time I make a video, because, I've been that person that you guys have been seeing for so many years. Everybody's like, what happened? What happened? What happened? So I'm going to go ahead and just get it out there. And like I said, I'm not bashing her because she means absolutely nothing to me. I have no reason.
This is just like, you're just touching on her character.
Touching on her character. She is the type of person, she's very... it's like she only dated married men. She only went after men who had somebody. It's like she got a kick out of that. I know the last time when she came back around this time, I think I was in a place of semi holding her accountable. She would go out, like one of her coworkers, she worked at a plant. One of her coworkers, husband was a promoter or something. And she was like, girl, every time I don't want to go out with her because every time I go out with her, she looking at me sideways while her husband thinking her husband want me. But then in another story, she turns around and tell me how the man walked her to her car and had his hand all on her butt. So I'm like, well, if that was her husband, a woman has an intuition. She probably picked up on that. I don't know.
But did she check him though? You got to. I mean, he
Oh,
had
no.
his hand on your butt. Did you ever say like, don't play with me like that?
Right? No. But then she wanted to go with a married man, an African man at her job. She was like, oh girl, he's older, but I dream about him. And when she showed me his picture, I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, my
This
cousin.
man has a wife. I was like, you're a very pretty girl. Do you kind of think that maybe you should date somebody that's not married this time? Because you're in a full-blown relationship with a man right now that you've been with for like 12 years. Not to mention you have pretty much like you have done so much to this man and his family since he's been married. She didn't went to the girl's house telling her that she's pregnant when she really wasn't pregnant. Just was
What the fuck? Ooh, I'm so happy y'all told me to watch this shit.
getting money for abortion or whatever. Okay, I'm gonna stop that part because that's airing out dirty laundry. I'm probably gonna cut that out. Anyway, she have done so much, and so now I'm like, it's really strong at this point. It's really, really strong where she's just going in on other people's men. Again, I never even thought past go. I mean, I date a girl, surely.
Them African men is hell of a. You know what I'm saying? I got a family member right now dating an old African. She stopped smoking weed and just eat rutabagas. That's it.
She don't want her. Surely my mind's not even going there because she's my friend, right? Nah, she wasn't my friend. So, that's a backstory on her and her character. Now, backstory on my ex is, and she can vouch for my ex too because she has literally, I've known her probably longer than I've known my ex. But she was around when we got together, like the whole backstory of how we got together, which is another story.
The character part is talking about this is out of her, is out of character, but not really out of character. That's for another podcast.
Yes.
But if you had been around them, you would have not expected the betrayal to be of this magnitude because your ex was not a person who was like super like personable, always nice, always had a smile on her face. Hey, how you doing? But not real like super chatty or in her, you know, like how some people
Always made me feel very confident.
Yeah. I see how you feel. Like that's how we all felt. Like you could have put somebody in front of her ex and she wasn't going.
I could have put a million girls butt naked in front of her. She would have turned around and walked off.
Like it wasn't gonna be this. So for it to be the portrayal to be of this magnitude, it was really shocking.
Right.
Those are the ones that you're supposed to look at. Those are the ones you're supposed to watch. Because it's human nature to see beauty. You feel me? I'm gonna just be honest with you. I would feel some type of way if Bella did that. You know what I mean? It's human nature. You can look. If you was trying to be too perfect Patty out, that would register in my brain. I'm sorry. Am I fucking by myself? Because that's the type of shit that would spook me. Oh, you don't want to look at shit? So, oh yeah, I know what you on. It's human. The fuck, look. I want you to look. If you ain't looking, that scares me a little bit. You know what I mean? It bothers me, son, because you doing some shit. You a sneaky motherfucker, you.
Right, but however, it was her character, but it is not. It's kind of like everything she showed me since we've been together, I would have never thought. But then in the beginning, when we first got together, that's who she was. And I never forget that her ex told me, oh, she would never do those things. I know her. And then that's exactly how I felt. So maybe she's good at tricking people. I don't know. No, I don't think she's good at tricking people. I think she's a very, very, very weak person. So
I wouldn't use the word, you hear me, you know me and my.
Okay, go ahead.
I wouldn't use the word weak. I think she is also a person that lacks boundaries. And so when you are not,
no, she doesn't lack boundaries.
No, she lacks, the reason why I say she lacks boundaries because a person who is weak that lets anything go is a person who don't hold themselves to a boundary. Because this is the thing.
Okay.
Even if you are in a relationship that you don't want to be in, instead of saying like, this is not what I want for myself, I'm going to choose to move forward and leave the relationship like how two, and I'm not going to say adults because we're all adults, but an adult with the emotional intelligence to recognize this is not working for me. But that's not what she did. She got with somebody else to separate. Like, I'm gonna just say, nobody can come and tell me about my spouse, or because I'm married, or my significant other, because I'm like, what's the motive? Especially if it's coming from a person that is supposed to be my spouse or significant other friend. You just can't tell me anything. I'm gonna put it in the back of my mind, but what's the motive? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
You're not a person that I would trust.
Right. I have always told my kids, if you're weak, you beat. Like, that's been my favorite words, literally, since they were like little bitty kids. If you're weak, you beat. And like you said,
that's what a boundary should have been. Because I would have been like, when you was.
I'm gonna be honest with you. The boundary to me would have been the multiple times she fell out with me because I didn't want to help her with her YouTube. That would have been a red flag with me, because it seemed like you have a particular motive. We fell out twice in a row about the same shit over something that we got the same 24 hours in the day, pimp. I'm starting my YouTube just like you starting your YouTube. So it's obvious that it's not about the help you wanted. You wanted Nique. You wanted to be able to get into where you can get Nique's influence. Let's call a spade, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Because it wasn't about learning. It wasn't about you wanted to learn. Because the girl, honestly, she flat out told you, look, I can't do you, but I can help walk you help walk you through it. She didn't want that. She didn't want that at all, bro. I mean, that would have been my red flag. Because I don't know. I look at everybody like a perp. Olivia Benson, Law and Order SVU. You can't tell me I can't catch a perp.
Whatever it is that she felt like she exposed, you didn't tell me when it first happened. So I feel like it's mandate information. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's vindictive. You have a motive. So I just wouldn't allow it, because I would not allow an outside person. And that's why I feel like you probably may consider her being weak, because she allowed a outside person of a 19-year bond, regardless if...
even whatever it was, you don't ever... So, okay, we going forward now, because they don't know this part yet.
Right.
So,
but it's building up to that part. So
it's building up to that part, yeah. So about her character, I remember like years ago when her and her ex broke up. This was like 19 years ago, 18 years ago, 19 years ago. And I asked her, I said, why do you allow people to talk about her? Why do you sit there and laugh? I said, did you never love her? Because y'all was in a relationship for 5 years. She was like, yeah, I loved her. I said, well, why do you allow your friends to talk about her? She was like, what am I supposed to say? Well, first of all, I had an ex as well of 5 years. And ain't nobody in here going to talk about that person, because I was in a relationship with that person doesn't mean it gives you the right. Like, we might not be together. I might not even like that person. But you're not going to sit around and talk about them, because I once cared about that person. So that's just like if me and my friend are not friends anymore. If we didn't have a horrible breakup or betrayal, is what happened with this friendship.
I think with that, though, I'm going to say one thing in regards to what she say. If you're going to allow this, and you got to be very careful with friends, and I'm just saying this from experience, I sometimes don't even talk to my friends about my relationship or family situations, because whether you want to believe it or not, or whether you've been thinking or not, your friend is going to automatically become biased, because your friend has a loyalty to you. She don't know your friends. She don't know everybody. You know what I'm saying? She has a loyalty to you. So those things, like right there, it has to be said in the beginning. Look, girl, listen, I usually don't talk about my friends. I usually don't talk about my relationships or nothing like that. But I want to get something off my chest. But please, listen, I don't want you attacking her, because I'm going to still have a problem. You got to say that shit right then. Because if you tell your friends so much about your significant other doing fucked up shit, your friend is automatically going to be like, fuck that nigga. You feel what I'm saying? Off rip. It's not going to be any positivity all the time with that. So you have to be very specific. You know what I'm saying? And tell your friend, look, I'm a vent to you, but don't be talking shit about her, because I am still kind of emotional from it. So look, I'm going to tell you how I feel, but look, don't be talking no shit, because it's going to make me mad. You got to say that shit in the beginning, my nigga. You do. Because shit, I'm going to be mad.
Me and talk about
you ain't finna hurt my friend feelings.
That was my friend. We could talk about what happened. We can talk about that person's character, and we can agree that that person did some shitty stuff. But you're not going to just be talking about, girl, well, she did this, or girl, whatever. Like, I don't even want to talk about that.
Long morning.
To that extent. Or whatever. So, to me, like, you had a different name for it. I called it weak because you couldn't even take up for somebody who you cared about.
Facts.
You can't even set boundaries for people not to even laugh and talk about that person. Like, her mom never, ever, we didn't even really know her mom like that.
But that's why I'm saying, because you're focusing on what happened in the character of the two people that betrayed you. But a lot of things that people do don't have anything to do with you. And so her ability to not set a boundary about people that she care about, and the way that she has moved with you and your situation in the past.
To me, made her weak.
Yeah, and because it just has something to do with whatever trauma that she has that doesn't have anything to do with you.
Oh,
Facts.
I see what you're saying.
Facts.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? Like, so, which still in tune has something to do with your character. So
Oh,
your character
okay.
are the things that you do that when nobody's watching.
Exactly.
When you don't think nobody's paying attention, that's the true person of the heart. And you may see these things revealed to you, but you are not really aware of that's that person's character. So that's why you don't think, oh, it's not going to happen to me, because you're like, oh, this is my friend, but you're not really looking at character traits. You're looking at surface things. Like,
Facts.
oh, I've been with this person for X amount of years, or this person has been
Just said that. You know what I mean? I like her. See, yeah, this is my type of shit. Let's get it.
my friend for X amount of years, but the character is always there, and you always see it in hindsight.
So, another example of why I feel that, you know, this way about her, the weakness or whatever, is because even her mom never came in our life, like literally never bought my kids Christmas gifts. Like, we didn't even know her like that. We always reach out to her. We wanted her a part of our life, but she never came around. Well, she ended up coming around like 4 or 5 years ago because she was having trouble in her relationship, and she didn't just come in and be like, because we would all have welcomed her with open arms. She came straight in like out of some, what you call that mother-in-law, monster-in-law? Mm-hmm. She came right in like the monster-in-law, like taking my ex off.
Yeah, and she would have got the fuck right on out. For this my house. Mine.
Telling her like, do you notice the way she's dressing? She came around my husband with these tight clothes on. I mean, she would even go as far as, if her husband invited us to dinner, she would call us and say, when he called y'all, tell him y'all can't come. Like, she was like so fake. And my ex knew she was fake. But her mom would come around and be like, yeah, remember you bought me that purse that time? And she'll be like, yeah. I'm like, you bought her a purse? She'll say, no, but just go along with it. What? Y'all both crazy. Like, it's like...
Not setting a boundary, you know what I mean? Like,
right. And then she would talk to me about it afterwards. She'll be like, I hate when my mama do that. I'm like, well, why don't you talk to her about it? Y'all never gonna have a relationship if you don't talk to her about it. But once her mom started dabbing in our relationship real bad, I used to be like, we never had these problems. We never argued. You need to talk to your mama. It caused me to feel like I'm about to start hanging out with my friends and stuff because I can't date you and your mama.
Facts.
Whatever. So anyway.
Facts.
That's another example of. And then when her mom came in, she came straight in saying, oh, you need to check her because she be wearing tight clothes. Do you know this lady? Do you know she started asking me, well, I don't really, she started telling me, well, I don't really approve of some of the outfits you used to wear. I'm like, where is this coming from? We've been together all these years. All of a sudden your mama. So now to me, that's weak. You're allowing or lacking boundaries. You let somebody else to come in and tell you how you feel. And now you want to project that on me.
But to you, that's another example of again, hindsight is 2020. Looking back at, she allowed an outside person to mess with, and it's okay. Nobody's saying that it's not okay for a family member to be concerned about something, but it's gonna be like, well, hey, you know what I mean? Like, you're gonna give advice.
And I could see if she's always been in our life and she came in. Right. If you came in, we never had a fist fight ever in over 18 years. We never had a fist fight. We barely raised our voice at each other. We raised all my kids. We had a great relationship. We had a great run. You know.
I'm like, she raises her voice because I ain't lying. I didn't even think.
Right. we have had. Yeah, it's like she's the one who taught me that. Like, okay, we can have a disagreement, but we're not going to raise our voice at each other, and we're not going to cuss at each other. So she taught me, like, really taught me boundaries. I had began to learn that you control other people by controlling yourself, by controlling what you accept. Because if I raise my voice, she'll walk off and be like, we're not having this discussion. If you're going to talk in front of the kids, we're not having this discussion. So when I come back, I'll come correct. I'll sit down and be like, okay, I'm ready to talk. Because I want to talk and I don't want you to walk off. So you're controlling me right now by controlling what you're allowing, if that makes any sense, right? What you're
It makes a
allowing
lot of
to take place.
sense.
So
She know how to set some boundaries, but in other areas she lacked. But then again,
Right.
I mean, we have to continually to work, you know.
right. So we have became this.
And sometimes people gotta also not confuse people setting boundaries with people being controlling, because it's a thin line between that shit. Like dead ass, it's a very, very thin line. So like sometimes that's just another way to control a motherfucker as well too. Because first of all, you ain't just finna do me like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's etiquette.
Couple who really talk about stuff. Like, that's why I was so sure that our foundation was so strong that nobody could have came between that. Even though I look past how she would allow people to talk about her ex. I look past how you would allow your mom to come in our relationship and say stuff about me without taking up for me. Yeah, I look past how she would allow people to talk about her cousins or her best friends, or how she would get in with people after this person just left out of here. Now somebody else gonna come in, and y'all. I look past all.
Yeah, get them type of people the fuck away from me. And I pay very close attention to that type of shit. I ain't even gonna hold you. If I'm at a person, especially if we just now becoming friends, if me and you are just starting to become friends and we like in a setting, you know what I'm saying, to where you're real comfortable, you know what I mean, talking to me about another friend of yours, you know what I'm saying, and we don't even really got a lot of history and shit, I pay very close attention to shit like that. Because if you can do that with her, you know what I'm saying, you could do that with me. And I don't, you know what I'm saying, I don't feel privileged because somebody's giving me some tea. Actually, I feel weird. And especially if we just met and we ain't really established a history to share like that. You know what I mean? Now it's gonna get to some points to where you have got there. But in the beginning, you doing that? Oh nah, you ain't trusted. I'm sorry, I don't give a fuck. Don't come at me talking about, oh, I just feel comfortable talking to you. No, the fuck you don't. You feel comfortable talking about everybody.
All that thinking it wouldn't happen to me. But why wouldn't it? Like, somebody can literally talk about her mama and she'll sit there and laugh with them. It's like she didn't protect anybody. What made me, I look past all that, what made me think she would protect me?
Facts.
And again, my grandbaby loved her to death. Like, she was there from the time he was born. We raised my kids together, so they don't know their dad. That was where they know him, but they don't, like, she's raised them. She's done everything for them. Yeah, they never ever had to call their dads and ask them for anything. Like, no dads for donuts, no school plays, no nothing. Like, my ex was there 100% of the way. Okay.
So Cindy's ex was like a stud? Hold on. Okay, don't tell me. We finna get into the next one. We gonna be going through this shit. Because I'm gonna get caught up. But shit, don't leave me alone.
Okay. So, coming to the current now. I just gave y'all some past character about
Ooh, I can't
my
wait to get into these next
and about
parts.
the person who I was dealing with.
I'm gonna have to roll me another joint.
And would you say you agree with me on both characteristics of each person?
I can agree from what I know. You know what I mean? Like, I can say
When you saw me and my ex together, did you ever think that?
She's always presented as to me, although I know it's always other sides to people. Like, you know, everybody don't meet everybody's side, but
right.
To me, she's always been like a gentle person, a person who have never raised her voice. Like, I've never seen her mad, but of course I'm not in a relationship with her.
But I also seen family men be serial killers. What the fuck that mean? Just because a nigga know how to be able to perform? Shit, when a motherfucker can put on an act, that's easy as hell. Anybody can wake up in the morning and perform and pretend to be nice. Shit, you can't go by no shit like that. Like, that ass serious, all them serial killers have good families. Good families. Hey, you talking about?
But she seemed like she really was loyal and had your back. But from the experiences of allowing somebody from the outside coming in, then that's where there was a crack in the relationship, and so that's why the situation is the way it is now. So I can agree that you gave a pretty fair judgment on
both of them.
Yeah, on both of them.
Mm-hmm. And for me, I'm gonna, because I can't give y'all their characteristics, so I'll give y'all mine without giving you mine. I would like to say, of course, I'm gonna speak good about myself because this is what I think about myself. Everybody think good about themselves, right? I think for the most part, I'm very loyal. I really take relationships and friendships to heart. Like, they're not disposable to me. I can be a free spirit and a little wild at times, but I 100% believe in morals. If you my friend or if you my partner, I'm gonna protect you at all costs. It's nothing nobody can do to come to me, even if they tell me you cheated on me. Like, yeah, you might have cheated, but you're my friend, you're my person. After I finish, getting my anger out or whatever, after I finish, we talk about it, whatever the consequences we're going to deal with, I'm not going to come behind that and allow somebody to destroy you.
And you're not saying that you're a perfect person. You're
right.
That's growth. That's growth like a motherfucker. Because I'm going to be honest with you, shawty. You cheat on me? 18 years? Oh, I'm talking about your ass live and having niggas call in. See, I'm not mature yet. You feel me? Oh, they can talk. They can say whatever the fuck they want. Shit.
Correct. I would never allow somebody to come in and destroy you. Like, my loyalty, I've had people where a guy was trying to holler at me one time.
I'm so sorry, but I am.
Your police just walked in the door and he was talking about my ex. And I'm standing there and I look back and I was like, oh no, she got a name. And I got upset. And he didn't even really call her a name. He just said, that's your police, saying like, and I was like, no, like, I got really upset because I don't care what the situation is. You're never going to talk about somebody who I care about.
Yeah.
Let alone let somebody come in from the outside and destroy us from the inside. That is disgusting to me. Okay, so there y'all go. That is, we talked about our character. I talked about my character a little bit. Like I said, I'm not perfect, but I am loyal.
All right, so we finished. So we can get into the next one now, because I'm ready to start getting into this story. I ain't gonna lie. I want to say shout out to everybody in this motherfucking chat who sent me this shit, because I'm excited. I got another joint that I'm about to roll. I'm about to get into this thing so we can get caught up in shit like this. But listen, y'all, this is some wild shit so far, bro. We finna get to part 2 right now. Somebody put the correct part in the chat for me. Could y'all put it in correct order so we can get this right? We can't have no errors, because I'm into this shit right here, y'all. Hold on, let me load up the second part. Y'all stay tuned. We finna get into some more.